Alrighty, we are live in Columbus, OH, and this is the Ramsey Show After Show. Okay, so we got audio. Very nice. That should make it better. Alrighty. Once again, I am Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions Certified Financial Coach, not just some guy. I'm just some guy that's a Ramsey Certified Financial Coach. How about that? You're watching this on youtube.com/CoachSteveMoney, and for financial content, you just scroll past the Oak Island playlist. That's what gets the most views, so that goes on top. And then right below that, the Ramsey Show, After Show, and Answering Your Financial Questions. Two different playlists of different live streams. And there are over probably about 600 hours of these already. The music playlist has 11 Ramsey adjacent songs in there. Do listen to those if you are so inclined. What up, HB? Good to see you. Market report. Down today. Nvidia went down. Where is it? Normally on here. Down. Nvidia down 6.22% today. So that of course dragged your Nasdaq and S&P 500 down. But everything down today. Of course, the most down. Nasdaq, generally that's the most up as well, though. So it all works out. Nasdaq beats the index, and yes, as came up once again on the Ramsey Show chat today, you can find managed funds that beat these indexes. A lot of people don't want to have to ever check it and maybe have to change them out if that trend stops. People don't want to do that. They want to set it and forget it and be lazy. And if you want to do that, that's fine. That's not going to change Mr. Ramsey's advice to do managed funds, because you're leaving money on the table even after you pay the higher expense ratio for the managed funds. Oh, what else we have here? Let's see what the rest of the planet did. Mostly up in Europe, mostly up in Asia. Hopefully, let's see what the future's looking like. More downage in the futures, but you never know. The futures were up yesterday evening, and it ended up going down today. Let's see what the U.S. dollar is looking like. Normally on a bad stocks day, it generally the US dollar is generally up against other currencies. We'll see. Up against the euro, up against the Japanese yen, up against the British pound, love, up against the Canadian dollar, sorry, and also up against the Australian dollar, mate. A clean sweep for the United States dollar. All of the most followed single stocks on the Google down, most Tesla, 4.06% down. Alrighty, and I think that's all we have for that. Let's see what we got for news in Yahoo News. A new federal rule will remove medical debt from credit reports, and this is from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. CFPB, they've been active lately. A lot of news stories about things that they do on there, and so it's just what it says: removes medical debt from credit reports. And so let's see, it would erase an estimated $49 billion in unpaid medical bills from the credit reports of roughly 15 million Americans. Now, you still owe it. It just doesn't count against your credit. Let's see. that could help boost those borrowers' credit scores by an average of 20 points, 20 whole points, helping them qualify for mortgages and other loans. If 20 points on a credit score is going to keep you from getting a loan, then you shouldn't be getting a loan. Anyway, regardless, no one should be denied economic opportunity, right? Because the government wants you to take loans, and why not? Because they keep doing it. They take loans to pay their loans. Not advised by Mr. Ramsey. CNN Business, McDonald's biggest menu shakeup in years. What was about this? Why did I? Oh, I highlighted something on here. It went away. Let me just find it. Basically, they already had a $5 meal that they rolled out already, and now they're adding some other stuff to the. There it is. The value perception of the chain has dimmed among its cash-conscious customers. The average price of items has soared about 40% since 2019. The company says this is in line with rising costs, right? There's been several grocery stores, though, that said that even when the cost went up in the pandy, that they didn't just rise it by that price, they rose it even higher than that. So they added some profit to that, since the pandy has happened. And so who knows if this is true or not. The company says it. It could be. Maybe they just rose it by the amount that they are being charged more for foods, for the raw materials they need to make your Big Mac and such. But who knows if it's true. Like I said, grocery stores have admitted it, that they've been gouging, and so who knows. One thing's for sure, you'll never get all of the information. So it's January 7th. And the next day, where I am in Columbus, OH, the next day that it will be above freezing is February 7th. So we got a whole month of being below freezing, and that's the high. And so that's a little chilly. I know, like our pals to the north in the Canada, CP, Christopher Pittman, who did my logos. I know he's over there saying, hold my beer, and because his temperatures are much lower up there. So I get it, but that's a lot. That's a lot. Complicating the matter, I moved back from Arkansas. I was living in Arkansas for 2 years. And so on average, it was 10 degrees higher, but I think today, like they're in the 50s today, I believe, is what I saw when I checked it earlier. But so that's interesting. But of course, bad weather, being cold is much better than having a 200-acre fire in Pacific Palisades, California. So, and plus they got windstorm, fire and windstorm, which spreads the fire. 200-acre brush fire. Yep. And the windstorm. So, you take your pick on those. Let's get into some questions. And of course, I did not sort it. Was too busy trying to explain something. You're probably a troll in the Ramsey Show chat, but I like to answer them sometimes because people are looking at the chat and they may have the same question and not be trolling. So just to put the correct advice out there. And there was also one about the managed fund They're saying it's misinformation. The managed funds beat the indexes. No, it's not. No, it's not. And then when I say, well, my funds have beaten the index. My fund beats the index even after you get rid of that. Even after you subtract the higher expenses because they're managed funds because you have to pay the managers. And so, but he's just not saying the troll, of course, not saying anything has any facts in it at all. So, but that happens. That's how it goes. Let's see. So a lot of times I just block, but I just wanted to answer to them today. And you never know because it's so hard because you have to play the game sometimes in your head is America's favorite game show, dumb or troll, because some people are just dumb and you can't explain anything to them a lot of times, and it's because they don't want to see it, just like the same way that people can look at these baby steps and they can eat. It's easy words to understand. They can understand it. They just don't want to because they don't want to go down to $1,000 in savings. They don't want to put all their extra money each month to debt. They want to invest before paying off the house. So I don't understand. I don't understand what it's saying. You know what it's saying. You just don't want to do it. Modifying Dave Ramsey for atheists and non-religious. The advice there stays the same. Tithing is not one of the baby steps. So you don't have to modify it at all. I mean, and you can be an atheist and non-religious and still, for the only part that might be considered part of that would be the step 7, build wealth and give, and you can just give to charities or you can give to individual people. Or you could choose to not do any of that, but that is the advice. And so that's the short answer on that one, is that no, the baby steps it's not in there. Or you don't have to worry about it till step 7. And so I would worry less about that and be more concerned with actually doing the baby steps. And then once you get to 7, then you can worry about that. Let's see. Divorce, new boyfriend. Emergency funds, baby step 1, baby step 3, did that one. Baby step 1 and retained freelance earnings. Generally, baby steps 1, 2, and 3 is not the time to start a business. Every bit of additional money should be going off to do baby step 1. And then to pay off debt, baby step 2, and then baby step 3. So being in a bad financial spot is not a good time to start a business unless it's something that is basically just your labor. It's not involved. There's nothing else involved in it. No like gas cost, no materials cost at all. And like I said, you're trying to do retained earnings here. But let's see what the question is, and let's open it up, see what the whole thing is. So here's my situation. Often the small details do not matter. I'm currently working the baby steps by having a regular job supplemented by freelance income, which you should be doing. You work more and spend less, for sure. Coming off working as a full-time freelancer for a couple of years, okay? I have about $10K in retained earnings out of my business to cover the upcoming income tax bill over 2024. From 2024, you mean, right? Oh, 6 days ago. What? Yeah, no, 6 days ago it was already 2025. Tax bill from 2024, I guess, which will have to be paid in the second half of the year. Yeah, if you know you're going to owe that much to it, then you just keep it. You don't put that to debt, or even your your $1,000 emergency fund. You don't do that. But also, since that's not due until the second half of the year, I would consider taking $1,000 of that and using that as baby step one. So you at least have that. And then you can save up the, just put a little bit each week in there or whatever to get you to that $1,000 by the time you get to IRS time. Second half of the year, which I'm guessing like February. So, I mean, that second half of the year is June. So, I don't know if we understand how years and stuff work here, but maybe that is when it's due for this person. I also have a 1K buffer on the checking account I use for rent, utilities, etc. Baby step one, if you will. Okay, then, did use baby step two flare. That's my bad. Also, the user is Ability Deep 3558. I do like to look at those and notate those because there are several that do a lot of posting on here. My question is do I need that additional buffer or should I throw it at my debt? Yeah, if you're not gonna take it from the retained earnings, the $1,000, yeah, I would keep it. Yeah, that's your emergency fund. So you keep that, and now you are on baby step two. If you put that to debt, and that is, of course, one of the lyrics to how to do the baby steps right. It is, what is that? Step one, 1K emergency fund. You don't save more to add to that sum. You don't use that to pay off debt. And don't even think about higher steps. Sounds much, much better with the piano behind it, of course. But that's just a little taste of the music. Ramsey adjacent songs, parodies, kind of, I guess you could say. Because it does use other artists' music. Of course it does. I don't have any original music. Not for that, anyway. Where are we? Oh, we were doing this. So yeah, you don't use your emergency fund, your $1,000 starter emergency fund to pay off debt. You don't do that. People ask that all the time. I don't know why they would think that. If that was the answer, you would just start on baby step two would be baby step one in that case. But baby step one is baby step one for a reason. So you do have that $1,000, as this person said, it was a buffer. And you do have that buffer between you and life. It's supposed to take care of any less than $1,000 emergencies. And so that's the dealio. And if you have an emergency and you have to use some of that money, and people have things that they call emergencies a lot and use that money, and they shouldn't do that. But let's just say in this example, you actually have an emergency. You use whatever amount out of that $1,000 you need to cover the emergency, and then you pause paying extra on debt, and then you put everything back into that starter emergency fund until it is at $1,000 again, and then you unpause the baby steps and you go back to paying extra on debt. Let's see. The question is, do I need that additional buffer? Yes, that's your emergency fund. I feel like for me, I could easily cover any 1K-ish emergency with the cash pool out of my freelance earnings. So you got retained earnings and also you got a cash pool. If that's in addition to the retained earnings that you need to pay your tax bill with, and the cash pool is not for anything else that the business owes, then all that should be gone to debt. Then you don't have a existential argument about the baby steps. Then you're doing it wrong there. As still a freelance regular gigs is replenish such an emergency within a month, and that's not how that works. That's not how that works. You do not use emergency fund. And I mean, anything you make out of your business should be going to that, not put back into the business. Granted, paying taxes is not putting it back into the business, that's what you have to do. So that's what I would ask this person about. I would need clarity on why there's a why you're trying to call it a buffer. It can be an emergency fund, but still be in your regular checking account. That's fine if you want to. But you calling it a buffer instead of saying that's the emergency fund, I don't understand that. Also, what the cash pool is for. And why hasn't it gone to, baby step? Why didn't it go to baby steps 1 and 2 immediately? What's the problem with that? As I still have regular freelance gigs, that would replenish such emergency within a month. Throwing extra 1K at debt could shorten my debt-free journey by a little under a month. Is it worth it to sacrifice the comfort, or is that too gazelle intense? Again, I would have to know what's going on here. I mean, basically, it's the same thing that I want to do, but you're talking about taking it out of this cash pool, using your business cash pool as an emergency fund instead of having the emergency fund and putting the cash pool to the debt. So it's probably like once you get past it, I mean, it's all going to be the same anything. It's all your money and you have it there. But as far as whether some of it's already owed for the business or something like that, where you do have expenses that will need to be paid out of that. But if that's just earnings, cash earnings for you, then you shouldn't be hanging on to that. The retained earnings to pay taxes, absolutely. You do want to do that. You do not want to not have that money when those come due. So... let's just see if there. Yes, I have several accounts, including separate one for business. That doesn't answer any question. Okay, there's no other comments on it. So no idea exactly what's going on here. But either way, you got the $1,000. You do not take from the emergency fund to pay off debt, even if it will shorten your debt-free journey. Because you say that, guess what? You say that, and then you have an emergency, and then you have to take from your cash pool or 10K. And like I said, there probably should be no cash pool on baby steps 1, 2, and 3. But again, that like I said, that could be in the same situation as the 10K in retained earnings for the IRS. This could be for something else. Otherwise, again, why hasn't it already been applied to the baby steps? You're probably doing it wrong, Ability Deep. Scared a possum found me somehow. Imagine that. No, there's no Discord. I don't do Discord live and stuff. Let's see. He says, I'm not stubborn and really appreciate this type of feedback. I just need to have my eyes open. You can you heard the advice. You just don't like it. It doesn't matter what you think about it. It's not going to change the advice. You said, I can afford the payments. And Mr. Ramsey says that all the time as far as dumb people. Well, I was busy, and I don't get that many chat messages, so sorry about that, about finally noticing. But Mr. Ramsey says that all the time because dumb people buy too much house all the time and say, I can afford the payment, and it's dumb as crap. Do not do any of that stuff. The end. If you want to do something dumb, go ahead. You're free to do it. It's a free country. United States is a free country. Hopefully where you are, where'd you say, Germany? I think, that's fairly free, I think, right? Just do it. You can do all the dumb stuff you want to do. You don't need to run it by the Ramsey advice. I think you just want somebody to agree with you. I don't know. Or you want somebody to explain it to you in a way that will convince you, but I don't think that's going to happen. Did I forget to change the episode number? I might have. I think I did. In Romania, yeah. So, all right. So, yeah, I just don't. You just don't want to understand because you want to do what you want to do. and you think you're boxed into something. No, you're not. You can just wait. There's not a set age where you have to buy something. Even an apartment. I understand that's, you know, all the rage there. That's not as, buying an apartment is not as common here in the United States as buying a house. And so that would be the thing to wait for. So yeah, so I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you wanting the Ramsey advice, if that's legitimate, if that's actually what you're doing and not trolling. But what you did in the Ramsey Show chat today, a lot of trolls have done. Confirmed trolls. Yeah, I'd love to hear that in a way I'd understand it better. Okay, so here's the problem. I don't know what it would take for what the right words to use are to explain it to you other than no. Do not do that. That's not his advice. And the reason his advice is because debt is risk and paying rent is not risk. You're on the same side as me? Well, then take my advice and don't do it. Don't do it. You just stay in your apartment and you save up money and then you buy when you can afford it. More so. You don't try to like scheme and scam and do debt leverage to try to make money. You don't buy like rental properties. That would not happen until step 4. So you would be completely out of debt and you would have your full emergency fund then, and then you would at that point you don't get a mortgage for a rental property. You would have to pay for that completely in cash. So anything else is against the Ramsey and advice, and the reason is because it's too much risk. And if that doesn't explain it to you well enough, you should probably just go ahead and do it. You can do whatever you want. Reformulating it one more time. You type the same thing every time, regardless of whether you say you are doing that. Just magically, you know, it is kind of coincidence that you just magically found my stream somehow. I feel like this is not taking advantage of this type of loan. Oh, like not is a dumb thing. You're the dumb one for thinking about that. You're the dumb thing for trying to take advantage of a loan. No loans for rental properties. No, 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 no. Okay, and so that can be the end. Everything you're typing now, none of it changes anything. So in the end, saving for that house is a great idea. Yeah, you just save it. Save, and you do not try to debt leverage to make money in the meantime. What do we got? Extension, airline, 1870, negative escrow. Would you consider a negative escrow as debt to pay off outside the mortgage? A negative escrow as a debt to pay off outside the mortgage. Yeah, you should get, yeah, any escrow that if the escrow is negative, yeah, you should get that positive. Let's see, working on baby step 2, I have 2 accounts left to get paid off and then a negative escrow balance. If I follow the snowball method, the negative escrow balance would be next. I only ask because the balance has increased my mortgage over $200 a month and it hurts. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, you can do it. The bank will make you generally make that positive, and they give you X number of months, and they don't care because that just has you paying more money and paying more interest. So they're fine with it. They're fine with it. So that one is kind of a gray area, I think, but I would probably put that, since it's a small amount, I would probably get that current. Getting current on all bills is, you know, whether you consider escrow a bill, it is for your taxes and insurance. So that is kind of a bill, but getting current on all bills is part of baby step 0. So yeah, that would be fine with me. Oh, I had to say no 4 times to convince you. All right, great. Whatever works, whatever gets you to do the right thing, or even if you want to do the wrong thing, go ahead. The only thing that will happen is it can ruin your life. That's what debt does. Save 15% of base and bonuses. And just in case the rest of you didn't get it, what he's talking about is buying an apartment to rent, and that is debt leverage. And Mr. Ramsey does not do that. As I said, for you buying and even an apartment or a house, doesn't matter, buying anything with debt and then renting it to somebody else, that's debt leveraging, and that's a no. The only type of debt leverage that Mr. Ramsey allows on his plan is you buying the house that you live in. And that does not happen until baby step 3B is where you save the down payment for that house, putting down hopefully 20% for a first-time home buyer. He hasn't said it lately, but he has said in the past that 10% is okay as a down payment for a first-time home buyer. But you're going to have to pay PMI, and so that's extra on your monthly payments. Random account 12,580. That's a smart move. Don't want to out yourself on here. Hello, hi guys. I just finished baby step 3 and I'm ready to unpause my 401k contributions. Fabulous. That's exactly how it should be working. So if you're not familiar, if you're already investing when you start the baby steps, you look at this list and some people think that, oh, step 4, I'm already investing, so cool. So already got that done, and so now let's go back to step 1 and see what we should be doing. Now, it doesn't say here, but you need to pause the retirement investing until you get back to step 4. And the baby steps are not as easy to understand as I would like them to be, as I would think that they would be. See, in my mind, you do a list, you do step 1 and you don't move to step 2 until you get step 1 done. You're not trying to do all the baby steps at one time, which many people in the Ramsey Show chat have been doing. I think even a couple callers as well. Because they just don't know. Because what it doesn't say here is steps 1, 2, and 3, you do one at a time without doing any higher steps. As I said, from the baby steps, from the How to Do the Baby Steps Right song, it's lost my train of thought here. Oh yeah, you don't use that to pay off debt, and don't even think about higher steps. Right. So you should not be doing anything extra on any steps. Even when you're saving $1,000 emergency fund, you still should be paying minimums on your debt, but not extra. All the extra is going until you get to the $1,000 for your starter emergency fund. So this person doing it correctly stopped him while paying off debt and getting to step 4. Good job. I'm ready to unpause contributions. Should I be investing 15% of my base pay only? I get quarterly bonuses. My base pay is $75K, but I end up making about $100K total at the end of the year after the 4 bonuses. Should I be investing 15% of that extra $25K? Yes. I know it's discretionary, but what does Dave recommend? Yeah, you should be making that of your gross income. It's not of your salary. It's not of your base. It's of your gross income. So it would be all the gross income. And now if you don't know how much that is, you can invest it ahead of time. But you can invest it once you get it. You can contribute to the previous year's retirement account up until tax day. So you could still throw that if you have room. If you're below the limit of the 401k, you can still throw that in 2024 contributions. And then that way you're not maxed out for 2025 early. So you should always throw it to the previous year in retirement accounts if you are not up to the limit. Because just in case, and you may not be up to the limit for the 2025 either, but just in case you get a job and you make a ton of extra money, you want to go ahead and max out 2024 first. Interesting reveal 504. What should I do? Hi friends, hi guys. I've been a Ramsey follower my whole life. Do term life, not whole life. Just messing with the person. Just saying my entire life. It's just whole life. Bad insurance. Don't have whole life either. What's your name? Scared of Possum. No whole life insurance. No velocity banking. No other dumb crap the kids like to do after watching it on TikTok. Let's see. And debt free until 2 years ago. Beep, 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 doo. What happened 2 years ago that you had to go into debt? Let's see. Without going into all the history, debt came from being hit by a drunk driver that took his life during trial. All right. Car, living in an apartment with mold and loss of a child. I just have too many payments for credit cards, car loan, and medical bills to be able to make rent every month. I'm paying down the cards, and in total, outside of the medical bills, debt is $35K. It's not much, but I'd like one consolidated payment. Tough crap. I'd like it to be one payment. It doesn't matter. You can't handle 3 or 4 different things. I know your life's not great, probably, after being hit by a drunk driver. And any medical stuff. And the loss of a child, sure. I get it. But to consolidate loans or consolidate cards onto a loan or something like that, that's going to put you into more debt, because they don't do that for free, because they don't care about you. Whoever's doing this consolidation does not care about you. They just want to make money off of you, which is why they are offering that consolidation. And so Dave calls it a consolidation, because it makes you think you've done something, which is exactly why you want to do it, because you think you're making your life better when you're not. I already work from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. and have 2 kids, so taking on another job is not an option. I also photograph family sessions on weekends for extra money. Has anyone taken out a personal loans to pay off loans? That does not work. That eventually, you can't keep doing that. Let's see. Personal loan to do this. I'm reading horror stories about national debt relief loans. That's correct. So what is the best option? The best option is for you to pay off your debt. Take a look at your budget, and you cut out everything that's not 100% necessary. Edit, I'm 100% planning on contacting the hospital, reduce the medical bill. Great, yeah, that kind of thing. You can look into that. And nonprofits to help with this. $35K includes other debt that from a payday loan, car loan, and credit cards. Thank you. Yeah. So, I mean, the run to debt thing is what everybody does. And sometimes it's for not things that aren't 100% necessary. And so if it's not 100% necessary, I mean, some people do take out payday loans, which are a crazy amount of interest. They take that out instead of just being late on something that they could be late on, and it wouldn't cause any big problems. I mean, you don't want to be late on anything, sure. But what are they going to do? If they don't like cut off your electricity for a while, and they probably can't do that in the winter anyway. Depends on where you are, I guess, whether that's allowed. But like anything that you would owe somewhere, you could certainly just be late on it and work it out with them instead of taking the payday loan. That's the most expensive thing to do, but people think it fixes it because it gets that particular thing. Is you're like, oh, the electricity is paid, and you don't think about the fallout from the payday loan, which, I mean, it's crazy interest on those. Crazy interest on those. Over 50%, some of them I've seen, which is crazy. And so, I mean, you get a payday loan. How about you just wait until payday and then pay it? And then, there may be a little bit for, a late payment fee, but that's not going to be as much as the payday loan interest. So people just run to the quickest, easy answer, and most times that is debt. That is not advised by Mr. Ramsey. Obviously, she's been through the ringer, and that is sad, but that still doesn't change the advice, and you should do smart things with money, especially if you're having other issues, for sure. What up, Sid? So it says many places that have recurring bills will happily give you a month or two of deferment if you call ahead and let them know something came up, i.e. waiving late fees, even credit cards. Yeah, she's right. She's right. But people just run to the payday loan place because I gotta pay the electricity, gotta pay it. It's better to pay 50% interest than to be late on the electric. Yeah. So, I mean, debt is the quick way out of any situation like that. And so it's wait if you can wait. If you can't wait, then you have to see what else you can do about it. Such as Sid said. Hi, divorced new boyfriend, debt to no debt. Now what? I want a house. Okay. Divorced. New boyfriend. Okay, that could happen after a new boyfriend. Hopefully not a new boyfriend while you were still married. Debt to no debt. Divorce settlement, paid off debt, maybe. And now what? Want a house? Okay, I mean that could happen, but you don't get that with the new boyfriend. You don't live with the new boyfriend. Hi everyone. Hi guys. I'm new to the Ramsey baby steps, looking for overall advice. Alrighty, can give that. Went through a messy divorce, took the money from my townhouse and paid off my car and all my debts. Fabulous. Had to buy all new furniture. See, that's what people do. That is what people do. You can always count on people being human. And so that is it. Had to buy all new furniture. No, you did not. You chose to buy all new furniture. You could have bought used furniture. You could have perhaps done without a particular piece of furniture. You chose to buy it, not had to. That's bull crap. Feeling very lucky to own my tiny IKEA couch and small Amazon TV. I have $1,000 emergency fund, $13,500 in the retirement, $1,800 in TFSA, more retirement, $9,000 in work stock account. They match 3% on, but can't use the minimum for a year. But can't use, right? So that single stocks, getting involved with that at all is not advised by Mr. Ramsey. And you putting money into that to get some of their free stock, you don't know what that's going to be worth. That's not a good gamble. You should just invest that 3%. Or, more importantly, if you're not on baby step 4, you shouldn't be investing at all. So that shouldn't be any of that. So no car payment, no house. Okay, that's great. 33 female, boyfriend almost 2 years in. Okay, we don't know the timeline here, but 2 years in, that seems like that might have overlapped with the marriage. Not fun. He's a 37-year-old man, and they both have the same job where we make $100K before taxes. Boyfriend has 17,000, 8,000. Okay, in retirement, and uses his work account to pay off his truck and his own debts. Yeah, and his debts have nothing to do with yours, and vice versa. Let's see what the rest of it is going on. on here. I'm feeling so discouraged about not owning a house and not having any money saved for one. Well, if you didn't save any, you didn't save any. And you got divorced, so that's rough. So that turns your life upside down for sure. And so, but you just got to start where you are today and make your life better. So if you don't have any debt, you need to be having the full emergency fund before you even have any money saved at all for a house. And maybe by the time you're ready, maybe then you'll be married and then you can get a house together. Let's see. Everything is so expensive. I want children when we are getting older. I know we were very, very lucky. Okay, came out of the divorce with 60 to 70 in consolidated debt in a consumer proposal. It took a while, but it's gone. Okay, great. I'm free. This year, I'm focusing on the emergency fund. Then it's the house fund. Yep, and that's how it goes. Emergency fund first. Step 3, and saving for a down payment for a house that you live in. Scared of possum, not a rental. 3B is the save for down payment. Or again, for a house that you live in. And no house hacking either. No living in it and renting out a room in it to pay some of the rent. Otherwise, you can't afford it. Or the mortgage, you can't afford it. How's everyone else doing? Okay, very, very general. I guess didn't ask for specific advice. Too long didn't read. Happy and discouraged. Feels like we aren't moving fast enough. I want a house and children. Slow down. Slow down. Yeah, you can want if you try to save money in one hand, which is this is a kind of changing up a little bit what my dad used to tell me, which was a bit darker. But if you have in your hand money you're saving and things that you want, stuff that you want, what that'll cost in the other hand, the hand that with the one hand is always going to be full quickest. So wanting something is fine. That doesn't mean you get to just have it just because you want it. Want a house and children? Great. You can have them eventually, but hey, got a great idea how to get there. How about if you do the baby steps and you're working on step 3 now? So you do that, and then after that, if the house is important to you, then that becomes on your down payment is step 3B. So first you have and I would recommend 6 months, not 3 months if you want to get a mortgage. Or if you have a house already, I recommend the 6 months because stuff does go wrong with houses. And you can't call the landlord to take care of it. If you call the landlord and you have the mortgage, guess what? Your phone's going to ring. And you have to take care of it. So, but also, and of course, people all want to do everything all at the same time. And people have actually asked this too. I want the house. Want children, which you can have children without owning a house. You can certainly do that for sure. So that's not really part of that, but I can see how she would be doing that. But they want to invest too, though. You cannot do everything all at the same time. You're limited to your income. I'm going to sound like Dr. Phil there. You are limited to your income. As far as what to do. So you need to make priorities. And fortunately for you, Mr. Ramsey says, hey, if you want to save up a larger down payment faster, you can pause investing for 2 years to save up a larger down payment faster. You get to decide how much you put towards the down payment savings and how much you invest. You can do that, and it can be 0% investing for up to 2 years. After that, he does want you back investing the 15% of gross household income into retirement. So you just got to pick priorities. So you say the house and children. So if you don't want to have children without having the house first, then I guess you wait until you have a house then. And wait, that means waiting until you get the full emergency fund, waiting until you save the down payment. Locked posts, comments cannot be posted. They must have said, must have been some contentious stuff, and that does happen sometimes. Contentious. Not the easiest word to say. 36 comments, and yeah, it must have gotten Randy in there. Rancid. One of those words. Maybe today is the day for dementia. I don't know. I or LLLL. Trash LLL. ILILL, something like that. Upside down car. Okay, get this question a lot. Hey everyone, hi guys. We're following the baby steps and have come upon an opportunity to actually sell our car that we are upside down on. Great. A lot of people like to say they have an opportunity to do something that's dumb, like take out a loan, scared possum. If still listening, I have an opportunity. Yeah, it's a bad opportunity, bad advice. Bad thing to do. Do not do it. Just because you have an opportunity doesn't mean you should do it, but selling the car, generally going to be a good idea. Let's see. Question for everyone is, what is best to try to sell the car? I've already talked to the bank about getting a loan for the difference, right? And that's what you would do unless you have that cash laying around. My question is, should I try to private sale the car first? Yes. Because guess what? Or sell it to like CarMax or someone to move the process faster. What's the hurry? What's the hurry? I know like when you decide to do something, you want it to be done immediately, but I don't know, maybe you're new following the baby steps. These things don't happen overnight. This process does not happen very quickly. The more debt you have, of course, the more debt you have, the slower it happens. The lower your income is, the slower it happens. Yeah, making it to move process faster is not what you should be doing. You should be getting the most you can for the car, so you have to take out the least amount of loan. So yeah, so when you sell it to like CarMax, they're gonna take money out of your pocket by doing that. Dealerships do not sell you cars or do trade-ins or anything like that to help you out. They do that to make money. They take a bite. So if you leave the dealership out of the equation, then you get all the money. Or if you're buying a car from a private seller, then you're getting more value for it. Instead of, if you do that, if you buy a used car through the dealership instead of from the previous owner, you are paying more for that because the dealership wants they just want a taste. Everybody wets their beak. Trying to make money. Where in the baby steps should I buy a beater car? If you don't have any car and you need transportation to go to work, you buy one right now. Oh, let's see. Okay. Nothing new in the chat. Tempu 605. Where in the baby steps should I buy a beater car? My car broke down last month and the repairs will cost more than the price of a used vehicle. Okay. So, time of death on the car, last month. As a full-time college student working full-time hours between multiple jobs, good job. I have been relying on Lyft and Uber, not a good job. Money, too much money for transportation when no one else is available to help me out. Well, I mean, it's good if you have some people to help you, but you're still overall paying more for that per capita than if you bought a used vehicle. So that is, again, why you do it. Right, not sustainable. It costs too much to do that. I see this unexpected hurdle as a blessing in disguise, or blessing in the skies, as a lot of people say incorrectly. The consequences of countless poor decisions. We've all done that crap, haven't we? Haven't we? Can I get a witness on that? We've all made countless poor decisions. And if you haven't, bless you. You did great. Have left me in a very tight spot, and I'm ready to start the baby steps. And that's what it takes for most people. Most people don't want to do these. These steps are not easy to do. You know, I mean, understanding the process should be fairly easy because it's all simple words. And so that part should be easy, but the biggest problem is you have to wait, because once you get off work, and if you're not going to a second job, there's not, I mean, you can budget and other stuff, of course, but like you're just waiting until you go to work to make the situation better the next morning, because you're making more money each particular day. Yeah, this is people have to get in very tight spots because they don't want to do the baby steps, because it involves sacrifice and waiting. They don't want to do that. And I'm ready to start baby steps with the type of motivation and drive I've never had before. Great. What else do you need? If step 1 is to complete my starter emergency fund, then step 2 is pay off all my debt as quickly as possible, and the next is to finish building the full emergency fund. Right. So you would buy a car because that, my friend, transportation is part of baby step 0. And again, that's not on here. It's not on here either. And this is why you don't have to buy any book or anything like that, but you do have to listen to the shows. You do have to dig deeper on the internet, and that's probably better, because then you can address each individual thing that you're doing. And you know, on their website, or even other websites that would come up, but you know, maybe a particular question might even bring one of my videos up, maybe. But you can ask the particular thing. And so, yeah, transportation is part of baby step 0. So that becomes something that like should already be constant there. And so if you don't have a car, then you pause the baby steps, and then you save up the money to buy that car. So you would be doing that right now. Obviously, you already have multiple jobs already. So you just see if you can cut anything else out of your budget. Any other way of making any extra money. Anything, you know, you don't go to a payday loan place to get it. Of course not. You don't finance it. But you do try to get as much cash as you can up, and that will be less than the repairs of your previous vehicle. You sell the previous vehicle for scrap, or as is, you sell that for whatever you can get for it. Coffee in the City, celebrating that I bought a used car cash. Excellent. Celebrating that I bought a used car cash. Great. Friends and family, don't see it as a win since it's a 2009 Nissan, but it only has 29,000 miles and one owner. Friends and family do not get a vote unless they are going to pay for a better car for you. So, and I mean, that's one of, I mean, that almost should be part of baby step 0 as well, is where you don't give a crap about what anybody else thinks about what you're doing financially. They don't get a vote unless they are giving you money to get you something that they want you to have. Then they don't get a vote. If they're going to buy you a car, they can buy you as nice a car as they want to. But they're not doing that. They're just judging, and it doesn't matter. Their opinions don't matter. Even if they're friends, even if they're families, they do not get a vote in your finances. So, and you can't pick family, unfortunately. So maybe you have to see some of them. But some of these friends, if they give you a hard time about stuff like this, and this kind of stuff keeps coming up, they're probably not your friend. Otherwise, that wouldn't happen. The car's in great condition and will help me get to work. Okay, so that I'm no longer spending. Fabulous. 2 hours a day on transit. Yep. I have my 6-month emergency fund. Great. Bought this card cash. And now I'm positioned to start paying down my student loan. You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. 63 comments there. I'm sure somebody told him. You're doing it wrong. Student loans are part of baby step 2. I mean, people don't understand that either. And I don't understand what people don't understand about debt. Student loans are baby step 2 debt, non-mortgage debt. Baby step 2 debt is anything that is not a mortgage for a house that you live in. If it's rental property, that's still baby step 2. So you would sell that to pay off other baby step 2 debt. And not have a rental property, because you shouldn't have rental property until your own house is paid off. Oh, where were we there? Oh, okay. So yeah, 6-month emergency fund. That's step 3, babe. Step 2 is pay off the student loans, and you don't do all the baby steps at the same time. You do steps 1, 2, and 3 one at a time without doing higher steps. You do baby steps 4, 5, and 6 in that priority order, but all of these 4, 5, and 6 at the same time. So you're doing it wrong. You would take all but $1,000 out of that 6-month emergency fund and put it on your student loan. Okay. My bad. This is why I should read it always beforehand, but I don't. I know I didn't do the baby steps in order, and you're still not. Every second you keep that student loan around and you keep the savings, you're debt leveraging. You're using that student loan to have a 6-month emergency fund. That's debt leveraging, and that's Mr. Ramsey is the no debt guy. What don't you understand? I know I didn't do the steps in order, but I felt like, for me, having a larger emergency fund was priority since unemployment in my area and industry is high right now. Wah. Excuse, justification station for doing it wrong. I get you want to celebrate for buying a used car cash. Congratulations, you're doing it wrong. And doing it wrong means it's going to take you longer to get through the baby steps. Let's see. And if you're going to do that wrong, you're probably doing other stuff wrong too. And that's going to make you take even longer if you even ever get through them. Throwaway TV expert, modify Dave Ramsey for atheists and non-religious. I addressed this earlier. A few quick questions. Let's see what the actual questions are. Hey, y'all. What time? Oh my goodness, already been an hour. Where does the time go? Where does the time go? Hey y'all, 25. Listen to David Snow was 19. I'm an agnostic atheist and am engaged to a wonderful girl who's a Christian but doesn't go to church or do religious-y things. Okay? Quick question given this context. See what's up with it. Dave is big on tithing even for people on debt. Correct. If you're a Christian, you believe in if the wonderful girl is a Christian but doesn't go to church or do religious-y things, then tithing may not be a thing for her either. But in general, Christians believe in tithing. And so that comes off the top before anything, even before your rent or mortgage payment. That comes off the top for Christians if they're doing it right, if they're Christianing right. So that's for Christians. Now you don't have to be a Christian to do the baby steps, and the baby steps don't have anything involved in that. It doesn't. Baby steps don't say tithe on there anywhere. Obviously neither of it wasn't obviously because she could have done it, but she doesn't do it either. So, okay, guess what? It's your girlfriend. You're only engaged. You shouldn't be having combined finances yet. Hopefully, not living together. But let's see. Okay, hold on. Big on tithing, in debt, right? And that's true. So if you don't do that, that's fine. You can do the baby steps without that. What do you do with that extra 10% of your income? Well, it doesn't really work like that. You don't go by a percentage list. You go by the baby steps. So it doesn't work like that. You're thinking about it wrong again. So for you, so for Christians, the 10% would be at the top of the budget because that's what they believe in. Okay. If you don't agree with that, you can do whatever you want. Then you take that out. That 10% is no longer at the top then. So there's something else more important than the extra 10% that you're not using for giving, which would be the general thing and not have anything to do with Christian. You can be an agnostic atheist and still be generous with your money and give to worthy causes or to people that are having a hard time, etc., etc. But if you're not doing that, then that's just extra that you would put on whatever baby step you're on at the time. After all of your expenses are paid, that's part of the extra that makes the baby steps work. The extra is what does it. Graduate college and retirement fund money, pay the house down quicker. Hopefully not living with the girl already, but no, you wouldn't put it in any of that stuff. You're doing 15. Yeah, you're doing 15%. It depends on what baby step you're on right now, which you didn't say. 104 comments, not going through all those. But yeah, it depends on what baby step you're on. If you have a house, hopefully then you don't have any other debt. Let's see, what do you do with that X% of your income, retirement fund money, pay? The fact that he didn't even say put it to debt, that made me, other than pay the house off quicker, makes you think, hopefully, or do the emergency fund, hopefully past step 4 then. Already investing, probably. So yeah, so that should be put towards the house. Now, because you just thought of something that you can cut out of your budget, the first first place you apply that to should not be fund money. If you set something for fund money previously, if that was fine then, that'll be fine now as you put the extra 10%, and it would go to if there are no kids for no kid college, you would be putting that extra to the mortgage early, because theoretically this person is already investing 15% out of each check, and that's all you have to invest. So you don't need to throw a big percentage or like 10% extra at a time into retirement. So that would not be it, and you wouldn't be putting more than 15% until the house is paid off. Once you get the house paid off, you're in step 7, and then you can invest whatever percentage you want. But until then, 15% of gross income is the max while you still have a mortgage. And we'll be starting my career there. I'm leaning towards putting the extra percent in retirement and saving towards a down payment on our first home. Okay, so all right, so that doesn't matter then. So I should have read it. Should have read the whole thing before first. Let me even read 2 before. Let's see. I've told her that before we get married in the fall of 2026, I want to go through FPU with her. Excellent advice. Excellent idea. I know a lot of what Dave says on the podcast are religious undertones to it. For those who've gone through FPU, how much it feels churchy versus strictly about smart money management? I would say probably about the same or less than the show does even. So, I mean, that it's not an issue. It's not an issue. And the only thing that would be involved with religion would be the tithing. And if there's a lot of talk about tithing and stuff, you can just consider that giving talk. and being generous talk, or you can ignore it. Oh, so that's very easy to do. Okay, but okay, so let's see. Leaning towards putting extra time. So guess what? Guess what, my friend? So you should be, and we don't know still what baby step the person is on. Hopefully you're at least on baby step 3B, and you have your full emergency fund already, and you may be investing already as well. So 3B, saving for the down payment, would be you do both that baby step 3B and 4 at the same time, as I said, unless you want to ignore investing for 2 years. Mr. Ramsey is fine with you doing that because that allows you to save a larger down payment quicker. So you don't invest extra into retirement before. I mean, that's the same thing. That would be the same thing as having your mortgage still. If you putting money into retirement instead of adding it to the down payment is still not what baby step 4 says to do. 15% is max you can do, but you can again take it down to 0%. But all of that 10% should be going theoretically to baby step 3 if you are, as I said, theoretically done with baby steps 1, 2, and 3. I mean, and it also depends on how fast you want to get a house. But yeah, I wouldn't worry about the churchy content. And I'm trying to remember. It doesn't bother me, so I never even think about it really. But I don't think it's much at all in FPU about that. Like I said, it may talk about tithing a little bit, but I mean, as I said, you can just consider that just general giving, what they're talking about there, or you can just ignore it. So a lot of the stuff is religiously based, but that doesn't matter. You don't have to believe in God. You don't have to be a Christian to do the baby steps. The baby steps still work whether you believe in it or not, just like Santa. Probably bad comparison there. Alrighty. Well, on that note, we'll end it for today. Once again, Coach Steve Money, Ramsey Solutions Certified Financial Coach. Please like, subscribe, and comment. As always, let's see. Sid says, hopefully engaged to a woman, not a girl. Side-eyeing. Side-eyeing. True. True. Where does woman happen, Sid? At 18? I mean, where does, but the difference between boy and man? I mean, I guess adult is where you would say that happens. Obviously, some 15-year-olds are more mature than some 20-year-olds, though. So you can't go by that. So I don't know the rules, Sid. Don't know the rules on that. Where were we? Oh yeah, Coach Steve Money, Ramsey Solutions Certified Financial Coach. And if you, yes you, hey man, if you are or a woman or girl, or boy, anybody, if anybody is having money problems, or if they just want to make sure they're on the right track, they can schedule a free financial coaching consultation with me at calendly.com/coachstevemoney. You can email me at coachstevemoney@gmail.com about anything financial coaching or anything on my YouTube channel. Donations, paypal.me/coachstevemoney. CashApp $CoachSteveMoney, or Walmart gift card to coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Stop doing it with both hands. More effort. Upcoming streams. Ramsey Show Aftershow show is 5:25 p.m. each weekday, Monday through Friday, even after replays, which replays might be over for a while. Alrighty. So again, thank you so much for watching. As I said, please like, subscribe, and comment. And absolutely, thanks for watching. And as always, make smart financial decisions every day.